everyone, I am going to do A Dog's Purpose Read Out Loud Part 20 now. This is the actual Part 20. I'm sorry about earlier, guys. I'm just a little stressed out. Like I told you briefly, my weekend wasn't too happy-go-lucky. I mean, I did have a good weekend, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't really planned, and, well, long story short, apparently, I guess two of my classmates are mad at me or something, or they don't want to deal with me at the moment. That's what I heard from my transition center. I'm not gonna go into details out of respect to those two students, but I don't know. I'm just really stressed out. Anywho, let's get to A Dog's Purpose, Part 20. By themselves, sometimes not talking, just wrestling. Sometimes she even went on the early morning car rides, though normally it was just the boy and me, Bailey the front seat dog. "Got to earn some money, Bailey," he sometimes said. I would wag at my name. "No football scholarship now, and that's for sure. I'll never be able to practice in sports again." At the sadness in him, I always pushed my nose under his hand. My whole life's dream, all gone now because of Todd. Ethan had brought the flip with him to the farm. For some reason, and sometimes he would cut it up and through it, generally making it even more embarrassing than it had been before. But my favorite time was when he'd swim together in the pond. It seemed the only time that the boy's leg didn't give him pain. He played the sinking game, as he had been doing for years now, though he was much heavier, harder to drag out of the water than ever before. When I dove after him, I felt so happy. I never wanted to end. I knew it would, though. I felt the nights growing longer, and that meant we'd be going home soon. I was lying under the table one evening while Mom and Grandma talked. Ethan had gone on a car ride with Hannah and had not taken me, so I assumed they had to do something that wasn't very fun. "I wanted to talk to you about something," Grandma told me. "Mother?" Mom said. "No, just listen. That boy has completely changed since coming here. He's happy, he's healthy, he's got a girl. Why take him back to the city? He can finish high school right here." "You make it sound like we live in a ghetto," Mom complained with a laugh. "You're not answering me because, well, we both know why. I know your husband will be against it, but Gary is traveling almost 100%. And you said your hours at the school are killing you. The boy needs a family around him while he builds. Yes, Gary's traveling, but he still wants to see Ethan when he's home. And I can't just quit my job. I'm not telling you to. You know you are welcome to come up any time you want. And why can't Gary fly into your little airport here on a given weekend? And please know that I only want the best for you. Wouldn't it be good for the two of you to be alone right now? If you and Gary are going to fix the problem between you, you need to do it somewhere other than in front of Ethan." I put my ears a little at the boy's name. Was he home? I caught my head, but I didn't hear his call. When the nights turned cool and the baby ducks were all as big as their mother, Mom packed the car. I paced nervously, afraid I'd be left behind, and when the moment was right, I jumped neatly in the back seat. For some reason, everyone laughed. I sat in the car and watched as Mom hugged Grandma and Grandpa, and then curiously, Ethan, who then come over and opened the car door. "Bailey, do you want to go with Mom or stay here with me?" There was nothing in the question that I understood, so I just looked at him. "Come on, Doodle Duck. Bailey, come." I briskly jumped out into the driveway. No car ride? Mom drove off in the car with Ethan, Grandma, and Grandpa waving. Though it made no sense, the boy and I were staying on the farm. That suited me just fine. Almost every day started with a long car ride in the dark, driving from house to house to drop off papers. By the time we got home, Grandma would be cooking breakfast, and Grandpa always slipped me something under the table. Bacon, ham, a piece of toast. I learned to chew silently so Mom would say, "Are you feeding the dog again?" The tone of voice when I picked up the word dog suggested to me that Grandpa and I need to keep the whole operation quiet. The word school was back in play, but there was no bus, just Ethan driving off, though sometimes the girl came over and they took a car ride in her car. I understood that was no reason for alarm, but Ethan would be back by the end of the day and Hannah would eat dinner with us often as not. Mom came to visit a lot and Mom and Dad were there during Merry Christmas. Mom's hand smelled like Felix the kitty when she reached down to pet me, but I didn't mind. I thought the boy and I had decided to stay at the farm forever, but toward the end of the summer I sensed we were headed for yet another change. The boys started putting things in boxes, a sure single that we were soon going to be on our way home. Hannah was around nearly all the time, and she felt a little sad and fearful. When she held the boy, there was so much love between them. I couldn't help but try to squirm in between their bodies, which always made them laugh. One morning I knew it was time. Grandma lowered the boxes into the car. Grandpa lowered in the boxes of the car. Grandma, Mom talked, and Ethan and Hannah hugged. I paced, looking for an opening, but Grandpa, why can't I not say Grandpa or Grandma correctly? Anywho, Grandpa had gotten pretty good at blocking me, and I hadn't yet managed to get inside the car. The boy came over to me and knelt beside me. I could feel some sadness coming from him. You be a good dog, Bailey, he said. I wanted to show him that I understood that I was a good dog and that it was time to go on the big car ride home. I'll be home at Thanksgiving break, okay? I'm going to miss you, Doodle Dog. He gave me a big, loving hug. I half closed my eyes. There simply was no better feeling in the world than being hugged by my boy. You better hold him. He's not going to understand, Ethan said. The girl stepped forward and grabbed my collar. The sadness was coming off of her in waves, and she was crying. I was torn between wanting to comfort her and needing to get in the car. But currently, I sat at her feet, waiting for her strange drama to end so I could sit in the seat with my nose out the car window. Ride me every day, Hannah said. I will, Ethan called back. I stared in disbelief as he and Mom got in the car and slammed the doors. I pulled away from Hannah, who didn't understand that I was supposed to go with them. She held tight. No, Bailey, it's okay. You stay. Stay. The car honked and drove off down the driveway. Grandpa and Grandma were waving. Couldn't anybody see that I was still here? I'll do just fine. Ferris is a good school, Grandpa said. Big Rapids in a nice town. They all turned from the driveway. Hannah loosened her grip just enough for me to break free. Bailey, she shouted, though the car was out of sight. The dust trail was still in the air, easy to follow as I chased after the boy. 17. Cars are fast. I never really knew this. Back home before Marshall went away, she used to run down in the street, barking at cars, and they usually stopped or at least slowed down enough that she could catch them, though all she ever did at that point was view off and pretended she never wanted to attack them in the first place. As I ran after the boy's car, I had the sense that it was pulling further and further away from me. The sense of dust and exhaustion grew thin and tenuous, but I picked up a clear sign of a right turn where the road became pavement, though after that I wasn't sure I could smell him at all, but I couldn't give up. I turned myself over to the mindless panic and continued my pursuit. Ahead of me I heard the loud rumble of train clanking and shaking. When I topped a rise and saw it, I finally caught a whiff of the boy. His car, windows down, was parked on the road at the train crossing. I was exhausted. I had never run so far or so fast in my life, but I ran harder still when the side door opened and the boy stood up. Oh, Bailey, he said. While every part of me wanted to tackle him and be loved, I wasn't going to miss my chance, and I veered from him at the last second and bounced into the car. Bailey, Mom laughed. I looked them both. forgiving them for forgiving me. After the train passed, Mom steered the car and turned it around. Then stopped because Grandpa showed up in his truck. Maybe he was coming home with us this time. Like a rocket, Grandpa said. Hard to believe he's got this far. How long would you have gone, huh, Bailey? You doodle dog, Ethan told me eventually. It was with great suspicion that I jumped into Grandpa's truck, though suspicion that proved justified, because while Ethan and Mom drove on, Grandpa turned around and took me back to the farm. Mostly I liked Grandpa. From time to time he'd do chores, which meant he'd go into the new barn toward the back where soft hay was piled, and take a nap. During cold days, Grandpa had a couple of heavy blankets he'd wrap around us. For the first few days after the boy left, I suckled in Grandpa's presence, pushing him to bring me back to the farm. When that didn't work, all I could think to do was chew on a pair of Grandpa's shoes. But that still didn't bring the boy back. I just couldn't get past the utter betrayal of it all. I knew that out there somewhere, probably back home, the boy needed me, didn't understand where I was. Everyone was infinitely calm, seemingly oblivious to the catastrophic change that had struck the household. I became so frantic I could tug into the boy's closet and brought out the flip, running down and tossing into Grandpa's lap. What in the world is this? Into Grandpa's lap. What in the world is this? She exclaimed. It's Ethan's big invention, Grandpa said. I bowed. Yes, Ethan. You want to go outside and play, Bailey? Grandma asked. Me? Asked me. Why don't you take him for a walk? Walk? To see the boy? I thought I'd watch a little of the game here, Grandpa replied. For heaven's sake, Grandma said. She went to the door and tossed the flip out of the yard, barely sending the thing 5 yards. I bounded over, grabbing it, and then started in absolute non-comprehension when she shut the door, leaving me outside. Well, okay then. I spat out the flip and tried past Flair, leading down the driveway. I went over to the girl's house, which I had already done several times since Ethan left. I could smell her scent everywhere, but the boy's scent was gradually fading away. A car pulled into a driveway and Hannah jumped out. Bye, she said. She turned and looked at me. Well, hi, Bailey. I went out to her wagon and could smell several other people's scents in her clothes, but there was no sign of Ethan. Hannah did go for a walk with me back home, and when she knocked on the door, Grandma let her in and fed some pie to her, but not to me. I often dreamed of the boy. I dreamed of him jumping into the pond with me swimming down to play rescue. I dreamed of him doing the go-kart, how happy and excited he was. I sometimes dreamed of him jumping out of the window, the sharp crack of pain rising in a shout from his lips as he fell in the flaming bushes. I hated those dreams, and I was just awaking from one of them one night when I saw the boy standing above me. Hi, Bailey, he whispered, his scent flowing off of him. He was back on the farm. I jumped to my feet, putting my paws on his chest to lick at his face. Shh, he told me. It's late. I just got here. Everybody's sleeping. It was happy Thanksgiving, and life was back to normal. Mom was there, but not Dad. Hannah came over every day. The boy seemed happy, but I could also feel that he was distracted. He spent a lot of time looking at papers instead of playing with me, even though I brought him the stupid flip to try to shake him out of it. I wasn't surprised when he left again. This was my new life. I realized I lived on the farm with Grandpa and Grandma, and Ethan only came home for visits. It wasn't what I wanted, but as long as the boy always returned, I had an easier time seeing him leave.